Hello, I want to introduce you really briefly to Newsvine. I know you've played around with it a little bit, but I want to show you it in action what it might actually look like to write an article there as part of class. So you can see I'm already logged in, and I know I'm logged in because I see the little symbol I decided for myself there. If you're like, wait, how do I upload one there? Go to Account Settings. I also know that I'm logged in because this Publish button exists. If I weren't logged in, that wouldn't be there. So I'm going to go ahead and click Publish and write article. So obviously your first question is, what in the world are you even going to write about? Well, I was just started thinking to myself, what is going on in my life? What is going on in the news? Is there anything I can respond to? And I thought to myself, well, I'm going to a poetry reading tonight. And I thought, is that weird? Do people still go to poetry readings? So you know what I did is I went to Google News. You can go to Google and click the news button up there. You can also just type news.google.com. And what I did was I searched for poetry. I was like, hey, is there anything happening these days? Did someone recently publish something about poetry? Often that will give me kind of the bouncing off point to have something else to respond to. And what I saw here was this article, Why Do Students Fear Poetry and How Can They Access It Better? Looks like it's from The Guardian, which is a UK news source. And there was this interesting piece. I read it really quickly, but it's essentially a teacher trying to say, what is it that people don't like about poetry? And with that, and with my personal story, I was like, that is gold. I've got enough to write a Newsvine article. So I'm going to try live here to write an article. I'll have to speed things up so you don't have to sit here through the whole thing. So let me show you a couple things before I stop talking about what I would do. First, I'm always going to make sure I think of my category. There clearly isn't one for writing or English, so I have to go a step further out. I could either choose arts if it has something to do with arts, but I think often that's something that has to do with news. And I don't think me talking about my poetry reading is exactly news. So I'm going to choose the not news category and see how that goes. I encourage you to add tags. Usually I type one and then do a comma for each one. When it's more than one word, I try to hyphenate it to make it all one. So let's say I'm talking about poetry readings. I'll type poetry hyphen readings. That's the way I see people tag things on Newsvine. I'm honestly not sure if it's required here or not. Different sites have different ways to deal with tags. That's fine. I also know I'm going to respond to a piece from The Guardian, so I'm just going to put Guardian as one of my tags. And I'll say, yeah, sure, I'll accept comments, and I want to share this on all of Newsvine and also our nation here, the Rhetoric 102 Spring 2013 Nation. Great. So now I'm going to take a second and actually write this thing out. Okay, I'm back. Let me draw attention to a couple things that I did while I was writing this. Um, One, you saw I didn't come up with a title until the very end. That's the way I always work this kind of thing. I didn't even know what this piece would end up being until I wrote it. So that's fine. Second, just to make absolutely sure that it's long enough, what I would do if I were writing it straight into there, which for me I think is easier, I would copy and paste the whole thing into Word so I can see how many words it is. It has to be at least 300. Okay, 667. I'm more than double. Sweet. Um, Third, you notice a couple of things. I was constantly going back and forth, maybe not constantly, a couple times to this piece I was responding to. And when I quoted something, if I had a long quote, I could paste it in and then click the little block quote button, and it would make it kind of look quotey, if that makes sense. For shorter quotes, I didn't feel like I had to do that. I could just put it in quotation marks like I do later on. I also gave a link to the piece by highlighting the words I wanted to be a link and then clicking this little link button. It says insert edit link. If I hover over it, that let me paste the URL from up here into there. That's not a requirement, but it seems like good manners. I'm letting everyone know, hey, if you want to go look for this, there it is. You can click there and find it. Um, in terms of content, I mean, I don't think this is news. I am glad I picked the not news category down there. Um, but on the other hand, I find myself liking the way that I'm moving between. I'm thinking about my own personal stuff and I'm thinking about it in a broader sense about what it means about the world in general and what even another writer has recently written. So I like that I'm entering a conversation with someone else. I'm not just, this isn't just a blog where I'm saying, it's not just a personal blog where I'm saying, hey everyone, I want you to know all about me, 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 me. Right? I'm also giving a little more heft to it by responding to someone else. Notice I use I a lot. I think a lot of Newsvine posts are really strong when they use a word like I. Okay, now that I'm done, if I clicked save, remember that would just save it right here. People wouldn't get a chance to actually read it. I'm going to hit publish live, and I'm going to cross my fingers and hope it worked. Your article has been published, and then this is kind of messed up here, but I think it says view live post. So let's try this. Okay, this looks right. I see the tags I added. I see it's by me. I see my link works when I hover over it. I see my quote looks like a quote. And I see there's a space down here at the end to talk about it. Now, if you want to make sure that it actually showed up where I can see it, I would go to Nations. I would go to the nation for this class. And then it should show up here in this room. Awesome. There it is. Remember earlier in class I showed you how I seeded a piece that shows that it's from somewhere. But if it's just something that you wrote, it'll be by you. Okay, well, it looks like everything's good. I hope that helps, and I'll see you later. Bye.